Turning now to the travel article that took the Buffalo by storm over the weekend, we can't help but love seeing positive press about the Queen City circulating around the nation. And it seems to be happening more and more as development and revitalization flourishes throughout the region. Melanie Kaplan recently visited Buffalo and wrote an intriguing piece on summer in our city for the Washington Post. We are joined by Melanie on the phone right now to learn a little bit more about her visit. Melanie, thanks so much for joining us on this Monday morning. We want to know how this article came to be. Why did you choose to come to Buffalo to write a travel piece?
Good morning. I had heard little snippets from friends of friends and family of friends who live in Buffalo. I'd heard about Larkin Square. I heard about just some of the new development, and I was kind of itching for a road trip. So I went up to see what was going on.
Now, one of the things I love about your article is we kind of hit lists about what's happening in the country for our chicken wings and other things that people might know Buffalo has, but you really focused on a lot of the revitalization that people might not know about. We're talking about Larkin and Canal Side. Were these things that you knew you wanted to cover, or were some of them surprises when you got here?
There were definitely some surprises. When I travel, I like to do some of the same things that I enjoy doing at home. I live in Washington, and there's a lot of revitalization along the Anacostia River where the water has just been filthy, and now there's all this development and outdoor activity. And so I was really excited to see similar things happening in Buffalo, and that I could ride my bike in a lot of places, that there were bike lanes, that there was just a lot of activities by the water. In fact, I didn't have nearly enough time to do them all.
And you mentioned specifically, right in the lead of the article, you mentioned the kayak tours along the water as well as the free outdoor yoga classes. Did you get to experience any of these things while you were here, and what'd you think?
I did. I took a kayak out and loved paddling and kind of seeing what was happening along the river. I did not get to a yoga or Pilates class, which really bummed me out, because just the idea of being outside and being with 100 other people doing down dogs would have been pretty cool.
We're actually sharing a picture from one of the ones over the weekend. You may see some familiar photos or some familiar faces in that picture if you're looking at it on your screen at home. You also mentioned in the article you actually didn't have chicken wings while you were here, which has long been a no-no for anyone visiting the town, but you suggested people try chocolate chicken wings instead.
Well, I hope they do. I'm a much bigger fan of chocolate. I don't really eat chicken, so I hope that I'm not banned from the city from now on, because I'd like to return.
I don't think so at all. I don't think so.
Now, I have to ask you, I can imagine that you travel to a lot of different cities. You write similar articles about those other cities. Where would you place Buffalo in what's happening with a lot of those other cities that are experiencing revitalization, like you said?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I think Buffalo is probably hit harder than most of the places I visited, just because the population decline and the depression that the city's been through, and it has such a rich history. So I think that it's got a really strong foundation to build on. It's got a lot of beautiful buildings and architecture, and I think the comeback is going to be really exciting.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for the piece, too. I know we write these or you probably write it as a travel piece, expecting people who might come here to experience it, but people here who live here already just love to read about it, too. So thank you so much for the coverage.
Thank you.
Thanks.